Today, for the first time in humanity's history, people are able to communicate freely with their loved ones now living in the afterlife. One of the most successful methods is performed by state-licensed psychotherapists. There are two methods psychotherapist researchers have developed that are up to 98% successful in helping people have afterlife communications with their loved ones while they sit in the psychotherapist's office. And the resulting communications reduce their grief from a very strong score of 10 on a 10-point scale to 0 to 3 in a single session. This is the second in a series of videos with actual accounts of people who have had successful afterlife communications with their loved ones while they sit with a psychotherapist. Hello, I'm Dr. R. Craig Hogan, President of the Afterlife Research and Education Institute and Seek Reality Online. I'm the author of 8 books with the evidence you will come to the end of this life, but you will never die. Hundreds of psychotherapists are now helping their clients have afterlife communications with the people for whom they're grieving. One method is called Repair and Reattachment Grief Therapy, developed by Washington State licensed psychotherapist Rochelle Wright. In this therapy, the client sits before the psychotherapist, and the psychotherapist uses a procedure called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or EMDR, to put the client into a state of mind in which the afterlife communications take place. The client sits quietly as the loved ones in spirit come to them, speak to them, hug and even kiss them at times, and even take them on tours of their life in the afterlife. The psychotherapist does nothing more than listen to the client describing what has happened. Those in the afterlife take over and communicate freely. The client's grief is always reduced dramatically by the experience. I co-authored a book with Rochelle. In our book, we have a number of cases describing what clients actually experienced while in therapy sessions. This is an example. The woman described in this account agreed that we could describe the repair and reattachment session without using her actual name.
Tina had a successful guided afterlife connection, connecting with her husband, Joe, and came back for a second session to connect with her grandmother. This is Tina's description she reported to Rochelle during the guided afterlife connection. I was in a room, but it faded to black. Someone grabbed my hand from the right side. I think it was my husband, Joe. He was taking me to a room where my grandma may be. We went through a door and emerged into a garden room. I saw Grandma to my left, saying, "Mine kind." That means, my kid. My grandma and I walked a short distance and sat together on a bench. I said, "Can I ask you questions in English?" She said, "Natürlich." Naturally. I asked her if my grandfather was there. She said he was, in the distance. I asked if he knew I was there, and she said, "Yes." Grandma began stroking my hair, and I burst out crying. Grandma said, "Don't be sad. We will all be together again." She then gestured to show me that Joe was standing in the background. I went to him and we kissed and hugged. The 3 of us sat down together. Grandma said, "Be happy we are all together. It's nice to sit together. It's been a long time, and to have Joe sit with us, mine kind," meaning my kid. She said to me, "You are doing okay, but you must go forward." She then spoke in German, starting with mein Liebling, meaning my love. The translation was, my love. My life was mine. Joe had his. You have your life. We have to all move forward. She was showing me my people in the distance, saying, "See. They are all doing something." My grandmother then said that her mother and father were there, and added, "We are all moving forward. We do everything together, like we did before. We have our jobs to do. There is always work to do." "Mine kind," she said, continuing in German that translates, You have to live every day to the fullest. I asked her, what about the work I'm doing with Rochelle in Afterlife Connections? She said in German, you can only go so far with the afterlife. Everything is not to be seen. It's good to do this work, but you can't go as far as you'd like. Otherwise, you would be in the afterlife. The work does help people, but when you go too far, you end up there. Rochelle asked me to ask her how Martha fits into this work, and would she be doing it? Grandma answered again in German. It depends on what Martha wants to do with it and what she wants to get out of it. Rochelle has a lot of work ahead of her. Martha has to know what she wants to do with it. Then she will carry on. Joe was sitting close by. I acknowledged him for a minute. Then my grandma said, all is good. All is clear. It's nice we could get together. Grandma and I were hugging. You don't have to be sorry for anything, she said in German. Das war schön, she said, meaning, this was nice. Then she said, I love you and Joe loves you. We look out for each other. She ended with, bis dann, meaning, until later.
These communications that are 98% successful are further proof your loved ones are alive and well in the afterlife. You will have wonderful reunions with them when you arrive there. In the meantime, you can have afterlife communications with your loved ones. Repair and reattachment grief therapy is one method you can experience. A link to the website with trained psychotherapists is in the link below.